if you hold open houses, or you have team members that hold open houses, it's important that we set proper expectations with the home seller. Some sellers will send a friend to the open house to see what you're doing, or a relative to see what the agent holding it open. A lot of sellers understand it's not the listing agents holding it open, it's somebody else. So what do we set the expectations with the seller? What do they expect out of this open house? That they're going to sell the property? Let's make sure they have an understanding that there's 3 reasons to hold an open house. Now, I was bold enough to say this to sellers, and that was, we do this a lot in our industry, no offense, but to appease you. That way you see we're doing something. We've got other things we're going to be doing that are effective. We throw this one in there. We know that lightning strikes every so often, and we find a buyer at an open house. Or there's a slim and none chance we'll find a buyer. Or statistically, I think it's around 3% of properties. So we have a 97% chance of not selling this property. And I could be doing other things, but today, I do those during the week, but today, I'm holding an open house. Now, you may disagree with it by telling the seller, that's the way it really is. However, I didn't want the seller upset with us and asking for more open houses in the future. I want to make sure we set the expectations with the seller of what the purpose of the open house is. And I just kind of years and years ago just gave up and said, I am no longer going to hold an open house and set the seller's expectations. We're going to find the buyer. I said, we're here to find a buyer that's going to buy something else in 6 months to a year. Who knows how long, and we hope they have a house to sell. The purpose of the open house sellers is really, it's more self-serving than it is client-serving. With the proper language and being equipped, we can now change the seller's expectations of why we're holding an open house. We don't really want to appease them, do we? We want to find buyers there and not have the sellers say, well, who came through? Anybody gonna make an offer? Are you gonna follow up with all of them? And then we have to basically make something up because we know none of those buyers probably are gonna purchase the property. And more importantly, I just didn't want, or the people at Coach we did not want them having the seller ask for another open house, and just keep asking. And I've had agents that I competed with in the past where they went in there and said, if you list with us, we're going to hold the open house this weekend. It's in their geographic farm, so they had motivation for holding it open. They were motivated to pick up buyers. And I told the sellers, and again, the people we coach, essentially, we don't want the tail wagging the dog, the seller telling us what we're going to do, requesting open houses on an ongoing basis. So if you want my team to list your property, open houses is not even part of the plan. And you really should hire somebody else, because what I do is effective. We know nationally it's around 3% effectiveness with holding open house, which means there's 97% chance that activity I'm doing that day is doing you no good. So if you want open houses, we're not your people, we're not your agent. And you might say that's too risky to say. But when you have a lot more to offer at that presentation regarding pricing, insight, the things that are really valuable to the seller, they understand the marketplace. That's what's important. Open house, how do we say that? A brand new agent who got licensed yesterday can hold an open house as well. They can go in there with 2 thumbs up, a business card, and a flyer, and follow the buyer around the property, asking questions that they just learned. And so can a veteran. So let's put the open house into perspective. Go ahead and hold them. However, let's make sure we set the expectations with the seller so they don't start demanding that you do them all the time. Alrighty, thanks for listening.